Hello there, everybody. I hope you've all had a wonderful work week, and I hope you have a long weekend planned. So, are you ready for AI assisted search paid advertising? Wow, that was a lot of buzzwords in one sentence. Let me try that again. How about AI assisted paid search? Yeah, that's probably better. But yeah, here we go. Perplexity, the search focused generative AI platform, well, they've recently been working with a new advertiser pitch deck that shows how the platform will win the hearts and minds of marketers by being able to provide, well, prioritized answers, all for a negotiated fee, of course. And if all that sounds a little bit like classic search advertising, well, it's not. It's exactly like classic search advertising. But how does all that work? I mean, the whole thing that makes classic search advertising work as a business is that there are multiple slots that can be paid for. You know, you could be paying for the top spot or the second spot or even the third spot on a search results page. And that's the kind of thing you can do by paying more money. But in a world where AI assisted search, well, at least as we think about it anyway, there's only one answer to a particular query. How would all that work out? And how about brand safety? How would that work out? Well, there's some interesting things there as well, and may just start to provide a bit of a lens on why companies like Perplexity are paying up some big bucks to have partnerships with publishers. Hey, you want to know a little more about paying to get the answer to a question answered by AI? Wait a minute, let's ask ChatGPT what it thinks. What's the best AI search for advertising? And we get an answer. Oh, here comes the answer now. Oh, very much so. It says, well, there are many ways to get the best AI search for advertising, but it all depends on your budget, it depends on your audience, and it depends on your goals. Hey, what do you know? ChatGPT is starting to sound like a marketer each and every day. This is a few minutes of what's new in marketing that might help you lead your business's strategy. Let's roll. Hello, everybody. Robert Rose here with What's New in Marketing. It is about what's new in marketing, but most importantly, it's something important in marketing that we think may help you become a better leader. And if we can help you or your team with content marketing services, including custom training, consultation, or ongoing implementation of your content marketing approach, come on over to Content Marketing Institute, get that form, wait till Tuesday or Wednesday to do that, but come on over, fill out that form, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about your project. So we knew it was coming, right? We knew this was coming as generative AI gets integrated into almost every tool we're using as marketers. We could see that the search platforms like Google and Bing, well, they were going to do it too, and they were going to integrate paid advertising into their web search. So Google has just started to integrate the AI message and functionality into Google Ads, but here it's mostly still relegated to using AI tools to create more relevant copy for search ads or optimize performance by creating bid amounts and, of course, analyzing the landing pages you create to help you create a more conversion-rich experience. But when we think of AI search ads, what most of us are thinking about is, well, how do we pay for the privilege of being the answer that appears at the top of a search engine page query? So what would that look like? I mean, what might we be buying? For example, if I type, who is the best content marketing strategist into Google? Well, look, I'm getting an AI overview widget that names a few folks, many of whom I know very well. I mean, it's good to see Neil Patel there. I mean, like that guy needs more publicity. But anyway, folks like Scott Abel and Barry Feldman, etc. That's very interesting. I'm not sure that's the list I'd go with for content marketing strategy. And yeah, I'm not there, but I mean, I'm not bothered by that. Okay, all right. But it's also interesting. Look, one of the articles that the AI cites as the source of all this knowledge is an article that I wrote, 11 years ago. So maybe I should buy an ad there and get priority for the right article that they should cite for that information. Or now, let's switch gears. If we look at Perplexity, and it's been giving Google a little bit of a run for its money as a search engine focused on AI-related search, and Perplexity has been marketing itself as the platform, quote, where knowledge begins, end quote. And surely they must have a better set of results for that same query. So I asked it the same question. And yeah, this time I got back what I'd humbly say is a better list for sure. It includes my pals Ann Handley and Joe Pulizzi and Michael Brenner and Jay Baer, and that's a fine list for content marketing to be sure. But yeah, wait a minute. I'm not there on that list either. Maybe I need to buy my spot on that list. I mean, I'm not bothered that I'm not on the list. I mean, I'm not bothered. No, I'm really not. No, I'm not bothered. I promise I'm not bothered. Just hold on a second here.
A few minutes later.
All right, I promise I'm back now. And it's all fine, right? The point to all of this is that according to a new article in Digiday, Perplexity is starting to pitch the idea of integrating ads within users' queries for answers. And it could come as soon as October or November of this year. I mean, literally just a month or so away. According to Digiday again, the deck doesn't actually talk about pricing, but a source apparently said, well, the goal is to target CPMs that are north of $50. Wow. That seems pretty expensive. I mean, obviously we have no data on what the expected performance of those ads will be, and much will depend on the queries that are purchased, I suppose. But consider that a classic Google search ad CPM hovers in the $38 to $40 range. So we're talking about a 25% premium on a classic search ad. If that number isn't pulled out of the, well, their whats, well, then they got to have some pretty good vibes that this performance is going to be as strong as they think it is. Anyway, apparently, according to the Digiday article, there are more than a dozen categories listed for the initial launch of Perplexity's AI ad product. And it includes technology and health and pharma, arts and entertainment, finance, food and beverage, sports, science, travel, B2B, internet and telecom, home and garden, beauty. Oh my gosh. I mean, everything. Basically, they should have just said, we're going to cover all, all the categories. I mean, I don't see politics here, but everything else seems to be covered. But here's the more interesting thing. Way deep in that article is another interesting tidbit. Perplexity has been building out publishing partnerships, like many of the AI companies have, and they've been building out these publishing partnerships and inked deals with things like Time Magazine, Der Spiegel, Fortune, Entrepreneur, Automatic, and I'm struck by how many of those fit the B2B category specifically. And apparently, the new pitch deck includes ways for marketers to buy ad inventory beyond Perplexity that will appear on these third-party web pages where they have deals and publishing deals. For example, the deck apparently shows how marketers might run a display ad on the Wall Street Journal. Now, there's some interesting implications there as we start to see how the integrations between generative AI and these publishers might begin to take shape. Will they just be a classic ad network like Google Ads, publishing on publisher partnership websites? Or will they start to merge in the AI capabilities with content creation pages under the publisher brand? Think maybe a custom site driven by Der Spiegel knowledge, but original content generated by Perplexity and all sponsored by a big consumer brand. That might be interesting. Custom content hubs using the proprietary learning sets of content sponsored by big brands. What about a small business content hub where all the content is generated by Perplexity, but it uses Entrepreneur's Magazine content as its learning model, sponsored by you fill in the blank. It's going to get really interesting here in the coming months, and we need to be paying attention because it's not just our paid ad budgets that will be influenced by these new opportunities. It's where, how, and why we're putting our money into original content. In other words, content marketing is getting AI'd too, and we will get to pay to play, but who are we playing with? Are we giving our content to these publishers because they'll start to monetize it in different ways? It's all going to be very interesting to follow. And pay. And that's a few minutes of what's new in marketing. Remember, it's your story to tell. You don't have to pay to tell it yet, so go tell yours for free. Well, I'll see you next week.